Now, before we go any further, I just want to show you a couple of minor changes, a couple of things that I did in my layout here. I don't know if you went ahead and finished off your footer there, the refinance and renew. I decided to finish mine off just to sort of show you what this would actually look like here. So let me show you here. So there's our original purchase there. Oh, by the way, I changed the rollover background color on my Learn More as well, just to give it, again, sort of that nice rollover effect there. So now we have a couple of rollover effects happening inside this purchase footer object, which is kind of cool. And really all I did is I did the same for refinance. There you can see, and also renew as well. So I just basically replicated out what you and I had done for the purchase. I did the same for refinance and renew. Actually, you know what? That's not entirely true. What I did to speed things up for myself is we had already done purchase together. I changed that background color because I wanted that extra effect. And then I just duplicated. You can take a symbol inside the library, right click on it and duplicate it. So I duplicated purchase twice, changed the name to refinance and renew, went into those symbols, changed the text, and then off we go, right? And of course, I had to drop those new movie clip symbols into the footer in the same X and Y coordinates as the original groups that we had there. Anyway, so I wanted to at least bounce that off of you. I keep getting this output error. Don't worry about that. That's coming from my lack of an internet connection. That's what's going on there. So every time I go to test my movie, I'm getting that output error. You should not be getting that error. Okay, so we are starting to wind things down here. I hope you've had a lot of fun here. There's one final task, one final challenge that I want to try and pull off here with you. And this is creating sort of an animated drop-down menu effect so that when the user goes to these main menu items, some of these buttons are going to be drop-down menus, right? So we're going to try and pull this off here together. And it's a little bit involved. It's a little bit tricky. So I imagine that this is probably going to take us 2 or 3 lessons to get all the way through the entire thing. But here's what we'll do. Let's get started here anyway. First of all, make sure you're all saved up and everything's ready to roll here. I want you to grab all of your menu items here. So just holding down Shift, go ahead and grab all of these menu items here right across the board there. We're going to take all these guys and we're going to convert them to a new movie clip symbol. So grab all your guys there and then up to modify and then down to convert to symbol. And I'm just going to call this main menu. There we go, main menu. And I said it was going to be a movie clip. So make sure your type menu there is set to movie clip. Go ahead and click on OK. All right, now let's go inside that new movie clip. So you're going to have to pop into your library and then look for main menu. Go ahead and double click on that guy to get in there. Now, again, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change my background color because, again, we're going to get some different objects happening in here and so on. And I want to be able to see everything that's happening here, right? And again, this is just a temporary change here. Okay. Now, inside this symbol, we have to create a whole pile of new layers inside the timeline. So make sure that your timeline is expanded there. And we actually need, let's see here, we actually need 5 new layers. So we have layer 1. I'm going to go ahead and double click on layer 1. And I'm going to rename this to main buttons, just like that. And then we need 5 more layers. So this icon right here, new layer, hit that guy 5 times. There we go. Okay, now let's go and rename some of these guys. Okay, so the first guy is going to be called Actions/Labels. Go ahead and double click on that guy, Actions/Labels. And then the next guy down is going to be called Script. And then the next guy down we actually want to be our main button layer. So grab your main buttons there. That's where all these guys reside, by the way, all of our buttons there. Drag that guy up just below Script, just like that. And then the next layer down below main buttons, let's call this guy Mask. And then Mask is going to be followed by Menu Buttons. That's where our sub-menu items are going to reside. And then finally, the very last guy, let's call this Menu Reset. Perfect. Okay, great. Good stuff. Make sure to save up your work here so we don't lose anything. Okay, great. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to add empty frames to every single layer inside the timeline on frame 10, right? So here's what I'd like you to do. find frame 10 there on the timeline, just drag all the way down, just like that, and then just simply hit F5 on your keyboard, and that'll do the job. So now every single layer inside the timeline is comprised of 10 frames, right? Okay, great. Now, some of these layers, actually 2 of these layers, need keyframes inside frame 10. So inside the actions and labels layer there, very last frame, select that frame there, the 10th frame, and hit F6, and that'll give us an empty keyframe. Okay, good. And then we also want an empty keyframe on the mask layer as well. So same story, just grab that last layer there and hit F6, and that'll do the job for us. Okay, great. Save up your work there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this lesson at this point. This is sort of part 1 anyway of setting up our animated drop-down menus for our main menu. And then in the next exercise, we'll see about continuing on with our animated drop-down menus.